What if the food sitting in your kitchen right now is quietly making your joint pain worse? You might be stretching, taking supplements, even exercising regularly, yet your knees still ache, your fingers feel stiff, and your back just doesn't feel right. And the real problem might not be your age. It might not even be your activity level. It could be your diet. Today, we're going to talk about common foods that increase inflammation and joint pain without you even realizing it. Some of these foods are marketed as healthy, some are everyday staples, and some are things you probably eat almost every day. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to watch out for and what simple changes can help your joints feel better naturally. Let's get started. 1. Refined sugar. Let's begin with one of the biggest culprits, refined sugar. Sugar triggers the release of inflammatory messengers in the body called cytokines. When you consume high amounts of sugar, your body enters a pro-inflammatory state. Over time, this can worsen joint stiffness and pain. And here's the tricky part. It's not just in desserts. It's in flavored yogurt, breakfast cereals, packaged juices, granola bars, salad dressings, even so-called healthy smoothies. Excess sugar also contributes to weight gain. More body weight means more stress on weight-bearing joints like knees and hips. So sugar hits you from two directions, inflammation and mechanical stress. If you struggle with joint pain, cutting back on added sugar is one of the fastest changes you can make. 2. Refined carbohydrates. White bread, white rice, pasta, crackers, pastries. Refined carbohydrates are quickly broken down into sugar in your bloodstream. That spike in blood sugar leads to inflammation, similar to eating straight sugar. These foods also have had most of their fiber removed. Fiber helps control inflammation and supports gut health. Without it, your body has a harder time regulating inflammatory responses. Many people don't realize that switching from white bread to whole grain bread can actually make a noticeable difference in joint stiffness over time. It's a small swap with big long-term impact. 3. Processed and red meat. Processed meats like sausages, hot dogs, bacon, and deli meats contain compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds increase oxidative stress and inflammation in the body. Red meat, especially when cooked at high temperatures like grilling or frying, also produces inflammatory compounds. This doesn't mean you can never eat meat again, but frequent consumption, especially processed varieties, has been linked to higher inflammation markers in the body. If joint pain is a concern, consider reducing processed meat and replacing it with fatty fish, lentils, beans, lean poultry, plant-based proteins. 4. Vegetable oils high in omega-6. This one surprises a lot of people. Certain vegetable oils like corn oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, and cottonseed oil are very high in omega-6 fatty acids. Now, omega-6 isn't bad by itself. The problem is imbalance. Modern diets contain far too much omega-6 and not enough omega-3. This imbalance promotes inflammation. These oils are hidden in fried foods, chips, packaged snacks, restaurant meals, store-bought sauces and dressings. When consumed regularly, they can quietly fuel inflammation. Try replacing them with olive oil, avocado oil, fatty fish rich in omega-3. Balancing these fats can help calm inflammatory processes in the body. 5. Artificial trans fats. Trans fats are one of the worst offenders when it comes to inflammation. They're often found in margarine, packaged baked goods, fried fast food, cream-filled snacks. Even small amounts can increase inflammatory markers and contribute to joint discomfort over time. Many countries have reduced trans fats in foods, but they haven't completely disappeared. Always check ingredient labels for partially hydrogenated oils. If you see that, it's best to avoid it. 6. Excess alcohol. Moderate alcohol may not cause major issues for everyone, but frequent or heavy drinking can increase inflammation in the body. Alcohol also disrupts gut health, and your gut plays a major role in controlling inflammation. When your gut lining becomes irritated or imbalanced, inflammatory responses increase throughout the body. This can worsen symptoms for people with arthritis and other joint conditions. If you notice increased stiffness after drinking, your body might be telling you something. 7. Dairy, for some people. Dairy is controversial. For some individuals, dairy is perfectly fine. For others, it can trigger inflammation and joint discomfort. This is especially true for people who are sensitive to casein or lactose. Some people report reduced joint pain after eliminating milk, cheese, and certain dairy products for a few weeks.
It doesn't mean dairy is harmful for everyone, but if you have chronic joint pain, a short elimination trial can help you understand how your body responds. 8. Artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose are often marketed as healthier alternatives to sugar, but for some individuals they may disrupt gut bacteria and trigger inflammatory responses. An unhealthy gut microbiome has been linked to autoimmune conditions and chronic inflammation. If you're replacing sugar with large amounts of diet sodas or artificially sweetened snacks, it may not be helping your joints as much as you think. 9. Fried foods. Fried foods combine several inflammatory triggers at once. High omega-6 oils, trans fats, high-temperature cooking, processed ingredients. Regular consumption increases oxidative stress and systemic inflammation. That inflammation doesn't just affect your heart, it affects your joints too. If joint pain is part of your daily life, reducing fried food intake could significantly help over time. 10. Highly processed packaged foods. This category includes instant noodles, frozen ready meals, processed snack foods, fast food combos. These foods often contain a combination of refined carbs, unhealthy fats, excess sodium, preservatives, and additives. The more processed a food is, the more likely it contributes to inflammation. A simple rule: if it comes in a package with a long ingredient list you can't pronounce, it's probably not helping your joints. Why this matters? Chronic inflammation doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly, quietly. You might not notice it for years until stiffness becomes constant, until climbing stairs hurts, until opening jars feels harder than it should. The good news? Inflammation is highly influenced by diet. Small, consistent changes can reduce inflammatory markers, support joint health, and improve mobility over time. What to eat instead? Now let's quickly talk about better choices. Foods that help reduce inflammation include fatty fish like salmon and sardines, leafy greens, berries, turmeric, ginger, nuts and seeds, olive oil, whole grains, legumes. These foods contain antioxidants, fiber, and healthy fats that actively support your body's ability to control inflammation. You don't need a perfect diet, you need a consistent one. Final thoughts. If you're dealing with joint pain, don't just focus on painkillers or supplements. Look at your plate. Sometimes the problem isn't what you're missing, it's what you're eating too much of. Start small. Cut back on one inflammatory food this week. Replace it with something whole and natural. Your joints won't change overnight, but over time, your body responds to what you consistently give it. And that brings us back to the question we started with. What if the food sitting in your kitchen right now is quietly making your joint pain worse? Now you know what to look for. The choice is yours.